Hello and welcome to Show Up Stand Out. My name is Juliette Stapleton. I'm a visibility strategist and my guest today, Anoop Chawla. Hi Anoop.
Hey everybody. Hi Juliette.
Hi.
I'm really glad to be a part of this interview.
I am so excited, and guys, you know what I'm going to say to you? That it was Anoop who inspired me to do interviews last year, and this is amazing. Now we're doing the interview together. We were actually talking about something. We said, we should do something like interview style. And then it just never happened, but I started doing my interviews anyway, easy chats, and my very first easy chat graphic was with Anoop's face, with Anoop's graphic. Oh my god, and I can't believe it, but you know what, better late than never. I am so excited because Anoop is a master of several things. He's a business coach, for those of you who don't know him. He's a business coach, he works with coaches, and he is teaching them how to basically unleash the Supercoach within them, and he's doing a really good job. He's an amazing writer as well, and we're going to talk about a written word in this interview. I know, just in short, maybe for people who are seeing you for the first time, what is your story? How did you come to be a coach?
Quite honestly, I have been doing it like online marketing and affiliate marketing, and I've done a lot of things in past 8 years. But I have been doing this full time since 5 years, and I was making a lot of money as an email marketer. But I started getting dissatisfied because I felt that I was not making an impact. I was working and I was making money, but I felt that I was not being a part of something bigger. And that's when I realized that if I can get in touch with people and help them using my knowledge, if I can help more people quit their job the way I did it, I would feel that I would feel much more satisfaction.
Yes, it's all about fulfillment, right? I absolutely discovered that as well when I started coaching, that I did a digital marketing agency, I ran it, I still run some of it, but it never felt as good as working with people, seeing people's results, seeing people just, like a flower opening up, making, not even making money. It's not even about the money. It's just that energy and becoming happy, becoming more fulfilled. So it was the same sort of experience for you, I suppose.
Yeah, we share a similar story because both of us used to make websites as well.
Yes,
right?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, and money was nice, but still the satisfaction and impact was missing, right? That's what drives us to become a coach, right? Isn't it?
That's true, because you know what, I mean, everybody is special and everybody has something to offer to the world that's unique, I believe. But I do also believe that there are people who are leaders and there are people who are amazing at service, at implementing, and so everybody has their own role. So I would never I have so many people that I know who do the same thing, web design and digital marketing, and they love it. That's what they want. For me and for you, it was more empowering other people, I suppose, and seeing that energy and knowing that there's something that you can give to another person in this interaction that will affect their life. That's what driving us. So yes, we're absolutely similar. And this is again funny because a year ago when we were discussing all these interviews, I think it was about this time last year, you were talking about this whole thing, overwhelm and being burnt out, working, even you made so much money with your business and yet there was no life. There was no happiness.
I was kind of falling. There was one time I felt I was falling into kind of depression, and I was feeling really exhausted. I was partying every night, and I was trying to find happiness outside my work. And then I realized that what's the point of working if you don't, feel happy doing it?
Exactly.
And regarding website designing and stuff, as you said, that there are people who love designing websites, which is fine. But I feel that it is a journey, right? You start making websites, you enjoy it, but who knows, like 5 years down the lane, the same people might want to help other people out and become a coach. So it was for us when we started doing websites, I used to love it, right? But 5 years down the lane, it was the same because that's what inspired you to become a web designer,
That's
isn't
right.
it?
Yes, of course. Of
Yeah.
course. And then, and you know, I still offer some web design within my coaching packages, and I love that part. I love tweaking with it, but
Yeah.
I would never imagine right now just spending all my time doing it, because at the end of the day, unless you're fully fulfilled, especially when you're running your own business, you're not working for somebody, and you're in control of your life. If you end up doing something that you less than love, then you know, you're just going to resent yourself, you're going to resent your clients, and that just creates that horrible vibe and really bad mindset as well. So yes, it's important to find what you love. I want to ask you as well, I met Anoop in one of the groups for coaches, and the reason why we connected was his post about him growing up and being a child and being singled out or not feeling confident. And I thought that post was in itself amazing piece of writing. So I reached out to Anoop saying, how do you do this? How does the written word? And then I've discovered I can write myself, because I think that a lot of people don't even believe in themselves, and then when they dig deeper, there's that thing, there's the writing. But why would you say, I don't know if that's the right question, why the written word is so powerful, but what is the benefits of using the written word in social media marketing for you?
Juliette, I see, because written word allows you to, it doesn't ask you to be spontaneous. Like on video, you can express your thoughts and you have the freedom to edit it out and make it perfect. You know, I used to be the same, and you know that I avoid camera, right? I avoid getting
You're
on
a
camera
perfectionist,
because
yes.
I'm kind of perfectionist.
Yes.
I would like to call myself that. And when I write something, I have the freedom to leave it for a day and come back to it and make it perfect and then put it out. Besides, when you have a written piece, you can use it. You can multi-purpose it. You can create a video out of it. It's an asset, right? You can put it in a report. You can use it as a blog post. You can, use it in a podcast. There are a lot of uses. It can all start with written word, right?
Perfect. Yeah, exactly. You know, in fact, for me, I found the way to. I'm very spontaneous, so I even write spontaneously.
Yeah.
I only edit for like 2 minutes. But then the moment I have my post, or sometimes it's a comment that I leave, that could turn into a blog post. And if anything turns into a blog post, oh my God, repurposing. There are so many ways you can repurpose your written content, and it's simply copy and paste. It takes very little time, and it boosts your visibility everywhere, not just say on Facebook and your website, but actually everywhere else. Yeah. So what's your most favorite thing about social media?
What's my most favorite thing about social media? I get to express myself. I get to connect with like-minded people like you. I'm kind of different person when I'm with my friends, my childhood friends. I cannot express myself as fully, but with social media, I have the freedom to connect with entrepreneurs, with coaches who are just like me. We are on the same scale. That's what I love about social media.
So what you're saying basically is a lot of people, what other people think about them, and especially when they start their journey online, what other people in their community, their friends, their family, people that connected to their personal profile, it's a big concern, isn't it? Especially when you're growing up. If you had any issues with confidence growing up, it's a big concern. How was your journey? Because I know that it was holding you back before. How did you overcome that? What was your way of finding your way through this obstacle and the mind sort of block?
Yeah, I knew this would be coming because I used to struggle with it for so long. I still struggle with it because I live in India, right? And people around me, coaching is not something that is very popular here. And I used to get a lot of resistance. That's why I would avoid posting things on my timeline. And then I figured out a magic button that is called block.
Yes.
And now,
this is international, guys. It's everywhere. Make it your best friend. That's the only way to boost your confidence.
Exactly. I don't give many chances to people. Anybody who, spreads negativity on my wall, if something that is constructive, I'm fine with it. I would answer you. But if something is like really bullshit and people are trying to put me down for no reason, I would be just like, I would block them, right? I have a huge block list.
Yes, but that's
And that really helped me out.
Yeah, and it's okay because at the end of the day, especially if you already have like a big amount of people that you connect maybe, and then you decided to change. For these people, it's such a shock to their system that you're changing, and especially if you're doing something that's maybe not that acceptable in their society. And I actually I have to say, you're in India, I'm in Ireland, I have clients in the States, I have clients in Chile, I have clients so many places, and everybody more or less says the same thing. Oh, I live in the area where I have to be careful with people around me, what they think about me. And I always say, make the block button your best friend, because if you block them, they don't even know you're there. You might be living next door and they would never see you on Facebook because you blocked them. And that gives you freedom. Yeah, and it gives you peace of mind, and it gives you energy flow, and you can do whatever and say whatever you want, whatever needs, because they're not the ones that's going to make your dreams come true, right? You are.
Right. That's so true. Yeah. And maybe, who knows, like Gary Vaynerchuk says that we shouldn't care about negative thinkers and people who comment stupid stuff about us. And if you are that, thick-skinned, that's fine. Personally, I would prefer negativity to like stay out of my wall, and I would just simply block them. That's much easier for me.
But it's not even just you. I think that it's a very difficult statement to digest, to say stop caring, because you might say, okay, I'm not going to care, but when it's there all the time, it can bring it on. Not everybody can even grow that thick skin, not for a while. So yes, blocking and eliminating them. But it's the same when it comes to, say, law of attraction. There's always an advice, guys, stop watching the news, stop reading the newspapers, because this is media. This is not the true events that's happening. It's media, and they're trying to scare you, and they're trying to control you. So that negativity, I have to say, I don't watch news, and my husband does sometimes, and sometimes we put them on. And I am so sensitive now, I see so clearly how they just take the same thing and make it so much worse than it is. And sometimes
blow it out of proportion.
Absolutely. And yes, sometimes the fact itself is very tragic fact. But you know what? It's not worth all that. Everything else is money making around it. And I just reject it. And I feel so much better. And yes, maybe not every time I hear that there was an explosion here, explosion there. My take on that is that I wasn't there and I couldn't save this situation. I couldn't do that. So what I'm going to do is spread goodness through what I can do. But I don't have to be watching glued to the screen, and whatever the correspondence has decided to say about it is going to bring me down. And if I sometimes at the end of the night watch the news, I feel like I'm going to bed and I'm a little bit like, it's like I'm soiled or something. I just feel dirty after watching the news sometimes. And so this is the same approach you have to take with social media. And Facebook, thank God, has this block button. So
true.
I think that's the bigger, and not everybody has trolls, but I find that even if you find somebody annoying, not to you, but just in general, anytime when you find any negative energy, just block it. Unfollow. You don't have to block people that didn't attack you, but you can unfollow them, you can snooze them, and the clearer your space is, the less.
I just block them, right? That's as simple as it gets. Yeah.
I get it.
I have probably hundreds of people
blocked. But I burn bridges. I burn them. I don't like coming back. If somebody,
I don't need them. I don't need that sort of negativity. No.
Yeah, well, that's good. Yeah. So we're on the same page. I love that. What's your favorite people to follow right now on social media?
Yeah, there's a guy called Jesse Elder. I think. Have you heard of him? He got a group called Ethical Cult Building, and I like that guy. And another one is, of course, you. I just like your posts, and I think your ability to write and express yourself is getting better each day. You have been writing a lot of great stuff these days.
I started this.
I also like Mark Memory from Coaching Jungle, and then there's Landon Porter from Getting Clients Without Salesy. These are a few guys I love.
Perfect. And well, you know what? Actually, when you mentioned about my posts, writing posts, About 6 months ago, guys, recently I had a guest on my show, Tori Reed from Content Marketing. Tori is she's a blogger. She wrote for Huffington Post, and she's such a great girl, great person, great marketer. And I actually asked her for a quote to write a welcome sequence to my autoresponders. And when she came back to me and she gave me the quote, and I thought to myself, I'm going to try myself, first. And I started writing my very, very first, I procrastinated. And I started writing a post on Facebook because my brain said it's easier to write on Facebook. And as I was writing that post, it turned into like a long composition, and it opened this monster inside me that loved writing.
Yeah, exactly. That's something I wanted to talk about on this session, on this interview, about writing, right? Juliette, that's the beauty of it. Most people think that they cannot write, they procrastinate, and I do it all the time, like the way you did. But what I often find is once I get on my desk, I give myself the permission not to write, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll write a few words. And before I know, I have a 500, 700 words post written out, right? Just because I allowed myself to, write whatever I want to.
That's right. It's a flow. It's like a tap. You're just literally opening a tap, and it starts trickling, and then it starts flowing, and then you're like, whoa! I have to bring this somewhere now and finish it up. And you know what? I actually personally, I'll share with you now, because I've started doing that, right? And I started writing. Then I thought to myself, wow, this is brilliant. So I can actually do more writing. Right now, I'm contributing to 2 magazines. Plus, all the online things like medium.com and Thrive Global and everything. I repurpose my blogs, but I save them as well. I save everything that I write, and even sometimes, as I said, if it's a big comment I left and I'm looking at it thinking that's a post, and I save these things, and then later on you can build on them as well. And I took it one step further a few weeks ago. I gave myself a permission to write every day. So I get up and as my morning routine, meditate and write.
Ritual.
And I sent an email to my list every day because I write every day. So, and it's like a practice, like with video and like with everything, like with walking when we're babies. It's something that...
It gets easier with time.
And it just gets, sometimes you feel like you want to write more, you want to write more and more and more. And you're like, okay,
it's kind of therapeutic.
It is though. It is. It's like journaling, isn't it? And especially when you are staying authentic, there's a question about, what is it to be authentic? But it's really to be yourself, to give yourself permission to be yourself publicly. That's how I see what authentic is, that's my kind of my thing.
When you, Juliette, what I find is when you allow yourself to be authentic, when you show up with warts and all, when you allow yourself to look stupid, most of the times you lose the writer's block. We have writer's block because we overthink. We think what people are going to think about us. But when we are like, think whatever you want to think. There's an analogy maybe that I use that's called write drunk, edit sober. So I would allow myself to write like a drunkard. I would write anything that comes to my mind. I won't edit it while writing it. And once I'm done with it, like 15 minutes, then I would leave it alone for an hour or so, or maybe a day. Then I would come back to it to edit it, right? That allows me to write really fast.
This is the difference, guys, between somebody who is thinking, a thinker, because Anoop is a thinker and he's a perfectionist and he needs to have everything perfect, and someone like me who's winging it all the way. So if you ever see a long post and you're lucky, from me, right, and you're lucky enough to be one of the first people, and then you come back to that post maybe 10 minutes later, it might be a little different post, because I go and I write and I post and then I edit while it's already there. And I might
edit it again and again.
Because I notice typos, and my brain doesn't notice typos when I write, and my Grammarly doesn't even help sometimes. So I'm writing, I just want it out. But you know what? It's like I get this drunken kind of writing analogy, because you can't be controlling yourself. You need to, it's a creativity that flows out of you through your words. And so
I just feel that we have like 2 minds, if you say. One is logical and one is creative. And while being creative, you cannot think logically. So the catch is you can get in the flow state when you are writing, and the logical mind is responsible for editing, but you cannot do both the tasks at one point of time, right? You can either be in the flow state or you can edit it. So what I would suggest is keep writing and show up authentically, and that would really help people write. It helped me write.
That's so true. I actually saw today, and I think it might have been Scott Oldman or one of the guys like that, who said that spelling mistakes has never made a seven-figure business or something along those lines. And it was so true.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Typos, couple of spelling mistakes, so what? Yes, yeah, it doesn't matter. It's not about that.
It doesn't matter. There was a post I wrote that with a headline, how bad grammar can get you better clients. Because in my opinion, I generally hate to work with grammar Nazis. They are a pain in the back to work with,
Oh
people
my
who keep
goodness.
correcting my grammar are not the ones who I would like to work with. So if people notice grammar error in my post and that's the reason they decide to not to work with me, I'm fine with that, right? That's why spelling mistakes are never the reason why somebody wouldn't hire you.
That's actually true. I do know some people who are very particular about spelling, and then at the same time they might not be as particular about their whole content strategy. And this is where you need to think about: is this?
Like, when did we stop?
It is now.
Are we back again?
We're back.
All right, we are
We're
back again. So I was talking about spelling errors, and there are some people who would never work with people who have grammar errors, and that's fine with me because there are people who would never work with people or coaches who are living outside where they live in. There are people who would never work with Indians. I'm fine with it.
Brilliant.
There's nothing
point.
that
It's true. It's
yeah.
true. The same here. There's people who wouldn't work with me just because I'm not Irish, and that's okay with me. In fact, they can just work with somebody else.
Yeah, they should be working with somebody else because I'm not the right guy for them. If they want results and if that's what they want, then I'm the guy they need to work with. But if they're more concerned about where I come from, my grammar errors, maybe we are not the right fit.
That's true.
I'm pretty choosy about who I work with anyway.
Well, that's the only way, because you know what? If you are not a perfect match with your client, it will very soon show. I am such a strong believer. I have a long list of clients when I started my business that I did not choose. And some of the experiences were very painful. So these days, this is my number one. It's about the energy exchange as well. You're literally entering somebody's life. Right? So
exactly.
It's important.
You get to hear what's going on in their life. You get to hear their emotional traumas and stuff. You gotta be a little choosy.
Yeah,
because I believe in service industry, people think that the worst thing is not to get paid. And I don't think that's the worst thing. The worst thing is to work with people who are like really energy vampires.
I agree with that. I agree with that. And
right.
you know what? It's even worse, guys, because you'd rather have nobody than working with somebody that you feel and they feel that you're trapped in this contract, that they're paying you money, they're not happy, you're getting them money and you're not happy. This is the worst situation. So bad for your energy and sometimes so difficult to release. But the moment you release those kind of relationships, the good stuff comes into your life because you created a void for it. So, I always say just go for it. And
if you feel that you are good and there's abundance, you shouldn't feel scared of saying no because, there's just one of you and millions of them. Right?
That is true. We need to work on our abundance mindset. Is something that some people say, oh, I'd love to win a lottery. You know what? You want to get an abundance mindset and be very strong in that mindset. That's something that
people who win lottery end up getting broke anyway.
That's not nice. Wouldn't be me. I still buy lottery tickets because I believe that
you buy lottery tickets. You're like my mother.
Yes,
she buys
I buy them when I remember. But the reason why I buy my lottery tickets because I believe in law of attraction. And
have you ever won?
Yes. But not that big. But I have won. But I've also realized in my life that I've got a lot of money coming into my life, not from me earning it, but it just came from different directions. And I never thought about it, but I actually am very, very lucky. And I do win in lottery very often, but small amounts. But a few years ago, I wrote myself out a check for 5,000 euros,
Like
and I manifested.
Jim Carrey did the same thing.
Yes, I know.
Yeah,
I
I'll
did
tell
the
you.
Jim Carrey
I'll tell you
thing.
that story. You already know that
I
story.
know.
He
That's
wrote
why
a check.
I did it. Yes, Jim Carrey wrote it. He was.
So you
You tell
you
me.
got the $5,000?
I got it, yeah, 6 months later. 6 months later, there was a small investment I did before, and I didn't even think ever that it's going to be monetized. And I got a phone call, and
I'm gonna
2
do
weeks
that.
later, I had it. So I have another check in my wallet now, but it's a little bigger, so I need a longer time to manifest it, not 6 months maybe. So that's why I buy lottery tickets, just in case, you know. But I can also make that money myself, you know. So when you have that control, then it doesn't matter. You kind of detach yourself from the whole thing. Well, anyway, so we're now this is a little bit away from the written word, but you know what? It's still all about the energy and the flow. So I'm going to wrap up. Before I wrap up, I want to talk about your group, because you have a group that's designed particularly for coaches. So what do you do in your group, and why is it special, and what is it called, and how can we join?
The group is called Supercoach with Anoop Chawla, as I'm clearly a big superhero fan. And the reason I call Supercoach, because I think all of us have like superpower. And by superpower, I mean that we have the ability to change people's lives as coaches. And that is why I've named this group. And the reason this group is a little different than other groups, because we have a lot of free training, a lot of free videos in the group that you get for free. Nobody has to sign up. There are like around 10 free videos. It's a whole free course in the group.
That's perfect.
Right?
So, so it's like join the group and learn. Walk away if you need to, but if you want more, and obviously there is much more where that information comes from, there's Anoop just here. And by the way, I know, because I'm part of that group, and obviously we're together ever since I started my online business. I think that Anoop came into my life probably a month later, and we were accountability partners for a while. Remember that? It was fun.
And we found a cool name, Fearless, for you.
Oh yes, that's true. Oh my god. Yes, you see, this is it. So not only Anoop started these videos in my life, which is now the biggest thing probably in my visibility, but the word fearless, which is my biggest word, came from you, because I was talking about confidence all the time, and Anoop said no.
And guys, I would like to talk about something about Juliette here, because you see, a year back we met, and I'm kind of thinker. I think a lot. And Juliette is, you tell her something and she's going to do it. So we decided that, we're going to do a video series, and I'll start an interview show. We are going to start. And she did it, and I kept on procrastinating for it. So there you have it. She has an interview show that's doing pretty good. And after a year, I have done my first interview. So don't do the same mistake, guys. Don't procrastinate. Just take action. Don't be a perfectionist.
Well, you know what's so funny? You started this interview and said, I'm a perfectionist. And now you're saying, don't be. You know what, guys? I saw Anoop doing video. The notification came up. Anoop Chawla is on live. And I went straight on. And I couldn't believe it, because I gave up. I thought that he's never going to do this. And I stopped encouraging him at that stage after like 8 months. And I was so proud, and I went and I looked at all these videos, and there's Anoop, and really sharing amazing value, looking confident, feeling like everything is absolutely perfect. Why did not he do it before? So yes, it's so important. I am actually just now on coming Monday, I'm starting a 15-day live video challenge program. It's not a free challenge. It's a program with training and everything, but this is exactly what you need to jump on, guys. Now I'm doing the shameless pitch here. Because if you don't do it now, you can end up putting it off. But for me personally, in 12 months, so much happened just because I started doing videos. That I truly believe that there is so much future. It's not because I am the way I am. Everybody is amazing. I was looking at Anoop's first videos, and I was saying, wow, this is brilliant. I don't see that he's nervous. I don't see any of that.
Because Juliette, I found out the reason I was getting nervous, and as I told you, it was because of people who are on my Facebook that I blocked, right? So, guys, if you are feeling scared of something, if you are feeling scared of writing or doing videos, find out, ask yourself, what's the reason you are feeling scared? And if like me or Juliet, you are feeling scared because there are people around you who are spreading negativity, just fucking block them.
Yep. That's it. Simple. Burn the bridges.
Right.
If you have, even if they are your friends and family and they're the worst ones. So yes, block them on Facebook and be loving to them in real life. That's how I do it, and that's the only way. Anoop, where can we find your group? What is the link to the group, or will you just say?
You can just, guys can search Supercoach with Anoop Chawla, or maybe I can post a link as a comment on this video. Does that work?
I might even have it in the description. So guys, definitely,
we can do that.
If you're a coach and if you are looking for some great direction in your business, follow Anoop and join his group. And thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Anoop, thank you so much for joining me. I'm so delighted. This is like a very special.
Thank you for having me, Juliet. It is always a pleasure talking to you.
I was honored. I hoped that this will happen someday, and this is brilliant. I'm glad. Better late than never. So it was brilliant, awesome. Guys. Don't be afraid of anything. Start writing, start doing things. It's all about just starting and committing to it, right? Okay, and I will see you next week with another Show Up Stand Out episode. Thanks again for watching, and goodbye.